What's going on today, guys? Primal Sabbath here, and today going to be doing another action figure on this Saturday. I think I may start doing that on Saturdays. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, just action figure Saturdays. I do like to indulge in just a handful of action figures. Most of my my stuff is all in a 1/18 or 3 3/4 inch scale, but I got a couple other things. I used to do some other action figures on this channel, like some of the Halo stuff and things of that sort, and I just kind of stopped because Transformers is always going to be like the first love and all that. But this is a figure from my buddy John. From his Dime Novel Legends line. This is from the Chicken Fried Toys, I believe is the name. I couldn't remember if it was Toys or Collectibles. Okay, yeah. Chicken Fried Toys. And it is the Badlands Vigilante, which is in no way, shape, form, or fashion the Lone Ranger. That's silly. Silly for anyone to even think that. I will also point out that at the top of this card, we see ages 25 plus. It is adult collectible figure, so that's for the grown-ups, as it were. And on the back, you get a nice kind of product catalog shot of the other figures in the line, which seems to be very much a kind of take on some more famous Western style, like Wild West style, I should say. Characters, like I believe that's the Sheriff, the Man in Black. The only reason I know those two is because those are the ones that that I'm going to be after next. I wanted to go ahead and knock out the Badlands Vigilante, so because I saw where he was starting to get a little bit pricey. Now I picked mine up from smalljoes.com, and if they still have them, I definitely recommend you go to smalljoes.com to pick yours up. On eBay, this dude is selling for like $200. I think I paid $45 or $50 after shipping from Small Joe's, so check them out for that. If you want to read the bio on the Vigilante, you can do that. If you want to read the information about Chicken Fried Toys, you can do that. And it's just all that else. You guys know how I love limited items, so there's that. Only kind of issue I do have is this isn't like a slipcase card, so you're gonna have to cut it. Or I say cut it. You're gonna have to cut around the bubble with an X-Acto blade or a razor blade or something like that. But anyways, everything's kind of in here in this little clamshell, and you get some other pieces in the bag. So there's that. That's it for that. I do think that's neat. I like the way it looks. It's just I don't like it that if I wanted to kind of have to keep it sealed, like or even just to kind of pack back up for storage or what have you. You gotta kind of you're gonna have to like be careful opening it. You don't want to rip that card. You know what I mean? It's nice card art and all that. So here's the Badlands Vigilante. So he comes with a rifle and a pistol. And he also comes with the hat that's removable. And if you want to, you can pop the head off and probably remove the bandana. I'm not gonna go through all that. I don't feel the need to. But this I really do. Like this. I like the, he's got the kind of cowl, so to speak, covering his face. Also, you can see on the jacket right here, you got two little holes, and you got like two little pegs. Now, for mine, they don't really peg in. It's kind of like a soft rubberized material. I'm sure if maybe I got in to kind of lift this side up, I could maybe kind of hook latch them in or what have you, but it stays like you can kind of see it stays closed enough on its own, and it doesn't really bother me if it kind of comes loose or whatever. He also comes with a stand, a Chicken Fried Toy stand. I like this. I like like Boss Fight does the same thing, and I think actually Sparrow was the only one that didn't have a stand, but it's a nice sculpted stand either way, and the pegs are nice and long on it, so there's no issues that you would get with some of the modern G.I. Joes with those pieces kind of falling off. So he holds both weapons very nicely. So as you can see, we've got kind of a if you want to sort of hip fire it, again 3 3/4, it's a little difficult to get some of these excellent I guess more accurate poses out of, but you can sort of get a hip fire out of it, and if you want to, you can pop the gun out of his hand altogether. You can also get a very much just sort of kind of outward motion like that. There is no that I could. Oh, wait. Don't get me lying. Okay, so there is some up and down in that wrist, so you can kind of do that. And I think this one you get the same kind of up and down. Oh, you can't even see any of that. So you get the up and down out of the wrist right there. So you do get that. The jacket's going to kind of get in the way, but again, you can kind of angle it how you're going to need it. And if you want him to just sort of like one-hand it at somebody, you can. Not practical for shooting or anything like that, but it's there as an option. So that's really cool. Real quick, and I've already done it to mine. If you feel any seizing in any of these joints, and I think it's mostly in the shoulders, run it over, or run some hot water over it, I should say. The joint, the shoulders, the elbows, anything that you feel kind of is just a little too stiff, because there have been some breakages. And I think of the backers that got them, any breakages, John has taken care of replacing and repairing, so that's pretty cool. Now I know for mine, it was this shoulder joint that was just a little bit stiff, and it still is, but it moves up. You can see there's a little bit of kind of stress, or maybe even some rub in here, but again, it's only on this one, and I've already run it through the water. It moves. It's just a very kind of tight fit. So I may try to go in there and maybe clean some of that up in there, but it's not seizing. It's moving fairly freely. So that ultimately is what counts. And also, I'm making sure I'm applying pressure close to the joint and not way out here, so it doesn't come out that way. But anyone who's ever messed with not even 1/18th, but even like 6-inch 1/12 scale figures, like, joint seizures are a thing, and it's just something you got to look out for on all of them. So, but what I do like here is the kind of like ball jointed, like you get the sort of like rocker at the waist. You get your up and down and your side to side, instead of like kind of traditional action figures. They did it all up here in the torso. Again, G.I. Joe, even some of the boss fight stuff. But you get it actually closer to the waist, which again, I like that. I do prefer that. If there's any ankle movement, I wouldn't be able to tell you because of the pants. And, we saw earlier, I was just kind of messing around with the knees. You get nice double bend at the knees. So you can pose them up. I do wish that if there were ankles, I wish there would be some tilts. But as it is, without the stand, it's going to be a little tricky. Of course, I'm on cloth and not anything, whatever. But without the stand, you can get a decent A stance pose, which I am a fan of. You guys know I love my A stance, but you can get some other kind of goofy poses. I posted some shots on my Twitter with this guy and my cowboy snake eyes. So that is pretty cool. And if you want to, you can take the pistol out and have him hold it. Let's try to get that finger in there. There we go. And the hands are more of a, they're not, I don't want to say they're a soft material, but they are softer. They're not as rubbery as, say, the coat, but they have some pliable give, which I do like. And if you want to, you can kind of sort of get this hand in for some fan fire action, some hip, from the hip fan firing. Let's see. Let's get that wrist kind of bent in like that. And let's get them pointed the right way first. So, and like for me, like that's always, now I don't know how, traditional, historic, or accurate this necessarily even is, but it is something that I do like just about that kind of culture, is just the fan firing of the revolvers. And let's see, let's get this hat back on his head. The hat goes on fine and it stays on fine. I really do like that too. So you do have that. As far as him being able to holster and unholster, I think you can kind of sort of play around with it. You can you can definitely have his hand on it while it's in there. You know, if you want to take some like, you know, some soon to be quick draw, I guess, type of photos. But as far as actually withdrawing it from the holster, okay, there we go. You can do it. It'll bend the gun a little bit, but if you're careful, again, this isn't for kids, so like treat it like you would if you were 25 or older. I think is going to be the smart move there. So you do get that. Me personally, I do display him kind of how we started the video review out with this holstered and with him just kind of holding the rifle down. I've always kind of considered the Lone Ranger a bit of a sharpshooter. So let's get this back in his hand. And I'll be honest, he holds this rifle better than he holds the pistol. As far as, you know, the trigger finger and the guard and all that, it slips in a lot nicer on that. So there is that. And again, if you just kind of want him sort of just hanging out, I have him kind of posed up. And again, whenever I try to get him to two-handed, it'll pop out. It takes some work. And it's funny because like I've got some of the 6-inch Halo toys from both McFarlane and Mattel, and this guy can two-hand a weapon better than either of those companies can. So that's again kind of funny, kind of silly. But I've also found, like, again, you have 3 pegs here on the stand, so you can sort of choose, I guess, where you want. You know, if you've got the figure on like some kind of a crazy pose, you do get like kind of an option to be able to have a lot of the, you know, like I guess like a heel, so to speak, back here, to where if he's got a lot of weight coming back here, it won't fall back as opposed to if, you know, you've got the entire figure on the back of the stand and you've got him doing some kind of crazy pose, he would fall backwards. If that makes any sense. So I like it. I like the multiple points on the stand. It allows for some kind of better posing options on the shelf. Again, for my posing options, he doesn't need the stand, and that's something that I do like. But other than that, the sculpt is great. I think I like the colors a lot. I think that they, you know, I think it's an accurate representation of what a Badlands Vigilante would have been. Again, the white hat, the black kind of cowl, even though it's just a, you know, bandana, do-rag or whatever, and then the red bandana. It's just a great sculpt. It's an awesome product. Again, you know, you kind of do have to worry about the tight joints and stuff that could potentially break, but knowing that going in, it's fine. The people that didn't know that going in, theirs is getting fixed, and I think that's awesome. That's great customer service on John's part. So that is it for the Badlands Vigilante. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box. I guess I could do a quick size comparison. Here he is with the Marvel Universe Wolverine. So, and this is actually a scale I really, really like. I really like that Wolverine is you know, is kind of short, but let's get him in here with I think this is the Universe, the Infinite series, Captain America. So you can see, like, it kind of works. Like, it's kind of like a pretty good, just in general, 1/18th scale. So I really do dig that. So let's get these out the way. But yeah, again, I would check smalljoes.com to see if they still have them in stock. Then you can get some of the other ones there. Again, I kind of have my eyes on the Sheriff and the Man in Black, so expect those at some point in the future. I don't know when, but it'll be at some point. So if you guys have any questions or comments about this, leave them in the comment box. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next action figure review thing, I guess.